I mean, it's only Hulk Hogan. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly Steelchair's Raw Netflix premiere episode review. How are we all doing? How is everyone feeling? Are you all happy? Are you all excited? Are you all relaxed? Are you all questioning streaming motives? Because I think we're all in a very touching situation right now, would you say? I mean, I certainly think so. I think it's a strong moment to decipher. I mean, that's how it seems anyway, but that's the nature of the game, isn't it? Like, that's where it comes from. What are we getting from WWE now that they've gone to the king of streaming? I mean, with all due respect to the likes of Amazon Prime and all that, Paramount or HBO Max, there's nothing bigger than Netflix. Unless there's something else out there that's bigger, then tell me. What do you think? I certainly don't. I think Netflix is certainly the cream of the crop, as the late great Macho Man Randy Savage used to say. Cream of the crop. Fun times. But what are we here for? What are you here for? You're here for this. Or are you here for this? Maybe you're here for this. I know a lot of people are here for this. Thankfully, I'm here for this. Liberation. A main event victory. A retirement tour has begun. The second retirement tour, I might add, of 2025, culminating at the very end. And also a moment of talent being put over in the most subtlest of ways. But lastly, we are also here to say, fuck Hulk Hogan. Yeah. If you're a Hogan fan, who gives a shit? Because Hulk Hogan can go fuck himself. In the nicest way. Honestly, I don't know how anyone can like Red Bull. It's like Hogan's career. Worthless. But, as I say, this is Reece from the Weekly Steelchair, your host, your owner. Here to just review this in the right way, the positive way, and not hold back. My man James, how are you, sir? Hope you're doing very well. If you would like to join this review, by the way, anyone is welcome. The link is in the chat. You're more than welcome. Ailey's not here, but trust me, she will be very back. Because I'm hoping to get her back on this weekend so we can get a full week's idea from Ailey herself, where Ailey kills it better than virtually anybody that I've ever been associated with or know of when it comes to content creation. Check out her TikTok, by the way. Princess Sales 7 is incredible. Check out Graps TV, who gave us a shout out yesterday on his Raw watch along. Check out Catherine, she'll probably appear at some point in the mid podcast. Check out Covalent TV. Don't check out idiots who are not going to give you what you want to hear. Only check out content creators who are going to listen to you, won't take your money, and just have fun. What can I say? It's like Beetlejuice. Hello, sir. Links in the chat. If you want to come join me, you're more than welcome. I would love to have you on so we can just talk pro wrestling the way it's supposed to be. And now I want to clear one important thing tonight as well, because I think it needs to be said. There is a misconception about my ideals for pro wrestling, right? And people think I absolutely hate WWE. I don't. I hate parts of the direction because that's normal. But as a company, I actually love it. It goes back to 1999 and beyond. But like a gift that's given, this one's very special. Can't explain why. But when you spin it, all the pieces just come out together, and when you put them back into the right shape, you get the final product. And I think what we're getting right now can evolve into something greater. That to me is the point of pro wrestling. Not about just the matches or the storytelling or the talent involved. It's about the evolution of the business. Evolution of fans finding and enjoying what they like and not being ruined for it. So take this like the final piece, and that's what we're going to talk about. So if you haven't watched the Netflix review, if you haven't watched the Netflix episode, I do actually recommend watching it. I do recommend watching it. The reason I recommend watching it is because you should watch it, get your own formulated opinions, and see what you think about Netflix production. I have some deliberations, because I'm always honest, I have some deliberations when it comes to overproduction, but when you look at aspects, there's a strength to doing it. So we're going to discuss that as well tonight. So first of all, I'm just going to read a few more comments. So I've already said to James, welcomes to him, obviously. Some very good comments already from Matthew. What I'm thinking about doing is dropping the WWE content so I can do this kind of thing and not be a horse as a motherfucker. Very appropriate. I think you're not wrong. Like, there's ways about going about it, and I actually respect your elements to it. Julio, my brother from another mother who thinks he's funny. I'm just kidding, yes. Julio's one of the funniest but most genuine human beings I know. Check out Red Brew Review on YouTube. That is his YouTube channel, his own sole Manchester United football channel. He did a fantastic interview quite recently. The man is killing it right now, and I wish him all the best. He's still under my tutelage when it comes to the World of Football podcast, but he's a good human. He is a very good human, and he deserves all the best. You've stumbled into me talking about professional wrestling on Netflix. New and never thought it would ever happen. Or maybe someone did, because someone predicted it years ago. Thank you, sir. I think the PLEs certainly can evolve as well from Netflix. Check your reminders. February 1st, Royal Rumble is live on Netflix, so do check that out as well. That opens up the room to do this more often. Absolutely. Like I say, the links are in the chats. They're always going to be in the chats. If anyone wants to come join, you're more than welcome. We're going to be here to discuss Raw, and we're going to do it the right way. We're just going to have fun, kick back, kill it. You look like a young Zlatan with glasses. Ajax Zlatan? Because that's when he had short hair. I'm only messing. Right. 3 hours of TV produced. Sorry, scrap that. 3 hours of streaming produced global production. Live from the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, California, a 5 months old building, seats 17,009, and I have to say, for a new building, it's actually fantastic. Like, credit to LA for building something like this. It has a vibe. I'm not going to use other words that are misquoted and used incorrectly by individuals online. I'm going to use the more appropriate terms. The Intuit Dome gives a vibe, and it seats strongly, and I really like how it's based. I can see this becoming a bigger stage at some point, not in terms of expansion, but bigger in a way of how it's going to be presented, like more in the future. It gives you a good look to it. It's really exciting. Like top half Juve, beginning of Inter Zlatan, bottom half old Zlatan. I mean, did I say myself I look quite good? I'm just having a bit of fun. So, Raw begins with, as it's coined now, when it comes to cold opens, Julio is one for these because he loves a Brooklyn Nine-Nine cold open. This does begin with that. It's a very intimate video discussing professional wrestling and what the means of the business is, how it works, the expansion across the decades, obviously from, well, this company's particular beginnings in the 1960s, obviously it flows through the 70s, the territories are peaking big. You then get the big 80s national, then international expansion, the beginning of Fuck You Mania, sorry, Hulkamania. I must be accurate. You've got the birth of the new generation. What's up, Daniel? How are you, matey? How are you? Daniel's a good guy. He's a good guy. The birth of the Attitude Era follows the new generation after some tricky years. You've then got the Ruthless Aggression era, the disastrous PG era. You've now got, well, you had the COVID era, everything's an era, I suppose. And then you've got the Netflix era. It's another word that is maybe becoming too much to swallow for consummation of terms and content, but it at least stands out. Now, there were some maybe confusing choices of words here in this intro video. Obviously, to many, one word in particular that doesn't get mentioned, but it's actually a strong reflection from this video, is kayfabe. And you're doing well, just winding down the end of my work shift. I hope it was good for you, mate. I hope you weren't too worn out from work. I hope it was a good day for you. Kayfabe is a protection of the business in a way where you're protecting your characters, where you don't give off anything of the business. It's an old term, but it's an appropriate term, and you're protecting your investment. Now, if you haven't seen the Vince McMahon documentary that's also on Netflix, he does reference certain words as well that are also in this video. The likes of babyface, heel, work, shoot. All of these are broadcasted into this video that is seen globally, and it's already proven. Now, we know this, that professional wrestling is predetermined. It's not essentially real in that concept, but it's real for what damage you take. The injuries are real. the people are real, but the characters are obviously fiction. And you're making those hurt. It's a bit of a risk. And it also means that you've now, again, we already know the business has been exposed for years, but it does expose a little bit that you want to just protect. And I don't know how many times you have to go back to certain legends who have said you've got to protect this business, you've got to protect the talent, you've got to protect the work. Stop exposing it. Otherwise, there's not going to be a business to continue with. That's why many wrestling fans gave up as well years ago, which, believe me, you don't want to ask about. Now, we then get the man who's talking behind the video, the Chief Executive Officer, or Chief Operating Officer, sorry, of WWE Paul Levesque, Triple H Paul Levesque, as he wants to be. It depends on whenever he's putting up his bloody end credits. He opens the show, welcoming the fans, asking if they're ready, which is completely necessary. And it's just twiddling at thumbs, and he already did enough by this video. It didn't need him to appear. It didn't need him to welcome people in. We already got the introduction and the grace of the new dawn, as it's entitled in this review show, a debut long anticipated. This has been a year in the making. Raw has been on the air since 1993. Most specifically, Raw's been on the air 22 years last Monday. So you want to, and you want to at least move forward in a different way, and I think they got it wrong. I don't think you needed Levesque to appear, because we already had so many welcomes tonight. Well, last night I should say. Tonight you've got plenty of welcomes from me. You don't need back-to-back welcoming messages from two higher-ups in your organization. The first, obviously, is Levesque. The second is this man, who obviously made his presence known throughout the evening. Now, The Rock obviously does appear. The Rock is obviously he was my childhood growing up. Like, he was my childhood hero growing up. It was ridiculous that he came out and completely changed what we were looking for. This man hasn't been seen since Bad Blood. And we're thinking, okay, it's the first Netflix episode, he's going to come out, surely he's going to make his presence felt, he's going to signal some intent for his next couple of months, the next 4 months, 5 months, perhaps, depending on what he's got in store. Instead, we get Businessman Rock, or sure, I'll rephrase that, Businessman Dwayne. That wasn't what we were expecting. That wasn't what we were looking for. It felt iffy. I'm going to come onto that in a second, Daniel. It's a great question. That's actually something that's on my mind. Is it pressing my head? What was that supposed to be? But obviously, The Rock welcomes everyone to Netflix. He mentions the Netflix execs, obviously, who made this possible. I'd like to point out the fact that that he also forgot to mention one other important name. He's happy to mention Roman Reigns. He's happy to mention Cody Rhodes and then hug him like it's his fucking son or his brother. He's happy to mention the Netflix execs, but he won't mention the man who helped make his career. He didn't mention Stone Cold. I'm sorry, but without Stone Cold, Rock didn't have a career. Obviously, there's another man that is very responsible for The Rock's career, apart from himself. It's The Rock, Stone Cold, and there's also a certain Vince McMahon. But it was Steve Austin that put The Rock on the map. I find that pretty strange that he didn't make a mention of him. They're so obsessed with breaking records. But the ultimate records were broken by Stone Cold. So why are you not giving him a mention? Strange that, isn't it? Strange that. Now, some great comments obviously flying in. So James obviously said, agreed, they look so predictable on how it started, especially with Triple H. It was so bloody predictable. The man got the spotlight and he thinks he's fucking 2010 Batista. Like, I'm sorry, but no, stay out of the spotlight. Go back to Gorilla, do your job, and produce the show. We don't need you on TV. Like, we don't even need you on my TV. Don't need you on my Netflix. Thank you very much. Rock and Cody being all kumbaya out of nowhere. What was that? I'm deliberating two things. This is what I'm thinking. Two possibilities, but I could be wrong on both. Probably going to be. We'll see. The first one is this is just businessman Dwayne, one of the head, like obviously one of the directors of the organization, one of the organization's top directors, who's just doing his pleasantries, his welcomes, and just making his presence felt. The second is him being duplicitous, and if it is, he's planting seeds. And there's another seed obviously that does appear very, very shortly in the show. It's about 40 minutes later. It was about 40 minutes later, he does plant another very important seed, but he is playing to the crowd like a babyface. Now, the babyface obviously is the good guy. The Rock turned heel last year. This time, just after this time last year, The Rock turned heel for the first time since the SummerSlam post-show 2002 when it all started. He turned heel in 2003. Hollywood Rock was formed. We've now got the final boss. You weren't the final boss last night, my friend. You were Terramana owner. You were the man of Terramana. You were Moana's main guy. You were just your business self. It was a bit strange. I mean, obviously he did get a few pops. He got a pop about the amount of swearing that this man did last night. It's expected. I don't think anybody can argue that is an expectation. Every time he does a promo, there's always going to be some form of swear word or an insult or a cheap dig pop. But last night it wasn't what I was looking for. Not that I'm too displeased, it's just not what I was hoping for. James says, I was expecting to still be the final boss persona. Threw me off that promo. Yeah, it threw me off completely. It was not what I expected. Also, I just want to reiterate one other thing as well that needs to be discussed, and I want to get your guys' opinions as well. Obviously, Matthew did discuss this last night on his channel, and I'm presenting to my viewers as well. It does go around podcasts, and I think it needs to be asked, so I'm about to do it in just a second after I read their comments. That was a bit odd, not going to lie, not mentioning Boston. You should have mentioned them. They dropped the ball on this one so bad it cleared the Sears Tower. Shh. I'll go one further. It bombed so bad that Ground Zero's got a patient. Anyway, this is what I was going to suggest, and this is what I was going to ask. Has WWE gone too far financially? They've made a fuckload of money. Thank you. Like I say, like channel that in a Rock sometimes. The Rock made one very strong comment last night. That this is for a building that's 5 months old. On Netflix, for the very first time, they were 6 tickets short of a full sellout. Let that be. This is just a fact, by the way. This is not a dick. This is a fact. They were 6 tickets short of a sellout crowd. 17,009 this arena sits. They made 17,003. 17,003 from 17,009. It's not entirely a loss, but they've said that this is their record indoor attendance record. Or it's their indoor record gate, to be exact. Now, one important thing about, obviously, pro wrestling to the pro wrestling fan, they want to see the product evolve. They want to see the wrestling. They want to see who is the best on the mic, which pictures 1985. You've got Magnum TA challenging Ric Flair for the World Championship. You've got one of the best wrestlers in the ring versus one of the best ever on the mic. You've got the same 3 years before with Von Erich. 1988 is. Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, no. Scrap that. 1989 is Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man Randy Savage. 1991, Mr. Perfect versus Bret Hart. 1998, you've got Steve Austin versus Shawn Michaels. 2001, Rock versus Austin 2. I'll go one further. 2005, Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan. He gets another mention. Unfortunately, he will be mentioned a few times tonight. You've got Rock versus Punk. Cena versus Punk. You've got you've got mentions from Japan. What they all have in common is they know their place, they know their moments, they know their strengths financially. Your record gate, it's not based strongly on the product, whether it is good or bad. It's not based on the name of the organization. It's based on the demand right now for pro wrestling. It may not be what it was in the 90s when they were getting 10 to 12 million rating on TV. But you're still getting big crowds. It's not like Saturday Night's Main Event back in the 80s when you're getting 30 million on NBC. What you're getting now is a different sort of premium demand to buy tickets, and it is so high. The cost is extravagant. I want companies this year to do well. I'll say it again. I want companies this year to do well. But please, can we not overcharge the fans? The fans are your bread and butter. You may disagree with me on that. You may agree with me. But I love going to these shows, but I want to be able to go, have a good time, and afford it still. Like, I would love to make sure I can afford it, have a good time, and not have to worry about what else is in my bank. Because that's the cost right now. It is heavy. The costs have completely gone through the roof, I doubt, and they're not the only ones. Don't think for a second that I'm just going to hold WWE to this. I'm not like that. I've been to AEW shows. They are also pricey. But there's different ways of cost. And obviously WWE are not going to change. I'm pleading that they think and consider reducing the cost a little bit. I mean, look at the day of the show. The cost for tickets had come down, but you're still paying high dollar for it. Reasonable pricing is, I think we can all agree, there's no such thing as reasonable cost anymore. Like New Japan as well. You know, it's when I went to Rev Pro, the anniversary shows, 80 quid a ticket at the door. Was it 80 quid? No, 70 quid. Sorry, 70 quid a ticket. Justify that, please. Like, you've got, for example, if you want to buy a shirt, there's sometimes it's 50 quid, sometimes it's 30 quid, depending on the shirt. A program, 15, 20 quid. Food and drink, another 15 quid. That's a Rev Pro show. AEW Wembley. A good couple hundred quid for a ticket. 40 quid in a scarf. 20, 30 quid program. Some of the shirts were 60, 70 quid. If you wanted to buy a title belt, it was like 800. For WWE, it's £400-500 for a title belt at show. You're outpricing your fans. You'll still make money on merchandise alone. You'll still make money on ticket sales. You'll still make money from the shows themselves, your sponsors, the lot. But please, can we stop outpricing, outsourcing, out-disgracing fans who make your fucking company? That's my plea to wrestling companies this year. Stop overcharging your fans. If it's your biggest show, for example, like if it's a WrestleMania or a Wrestle Kingdom for Japan's sake, if it's a Bound for Glory for TNA, or if it's All In for AEW, they're your biggest shows. They make sense for the really top dollar. But if it's just below that, but still an important event, just be a bit more mindful. I think it's just wild that it's gone out of the way. So The Rock's comments about it's the record gate, it's only a record gate because you've overcharged the fans and they're happy to just pay it. And they're happy to pay it whilst begging for certain things to not be on the show. Look at social media on the day of the show. Like, I'm not kidding. I saw this on Twitter 5 minutes into Raw. I saw a few tweets that literally said, into Raw, this video is great. This opening promo segment, then we've got a Rock segment. We don't need to see the wrestling. We just need to see people talk. No. You want both. And you want strong spread of time for each. Like, we actually need to see the talent use their entire repertoire. If all we're seeing on TV is just you want them talking, then the matches aren't going to live up. You've got to give them both. The fans that just want all the talking and no actual in-ring action, please leave. Like, please leave. It's an absolute disgrace. And if you are somebody who just prefers to talk and you don't want to see the wrestling, explain why. Because I like both. I like it where there's actually an important mixture of both. What's up, Fletch? How are you? Seriously, what the hell was that episode? I'm sad I missed WWE. Honestly, Fletch, I don't know. I honestly don't know. It hurts me. And people are saying if you want to just watch good matches, just go watch New Japan. That's not what it's about. You still want to see the actual product of what it's about. It's professional wrestling, not professional conversation. If you want to watch professional conversation, go watch the Tonight Show. If you're there to watch professional wrestling, you're watching the whole thing. So can we stop disgracing it, please? Oh, honestly, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And he does. He absolutely does. I miss WWE actual wrestling. See when they're actually doing it consistently, strong as fuck. And see when they've actually invested time and effort. It's hard to really criticize it. But when you completely remove the element, it's gone. Does Levesque know that Gunther's a main champion at all, or is he just warming the title for Punk? That's a great question. Nobody actually asked this last night that I can think of. Because he wasn't even there as well. Like, Gunther wasn't even at the show. At least according to reports, Gunther wasn't at Raw. Like, and I don't know how you can't have your world champion there. I'm sorry. You've got your Intercontinental champion. Fantastic. Why is he not on the show? Why is Dakota Kai and Lyra Valkyria not on the card? 4 matches in 3 hours. Are you effing kidding me? I'm sorry, but that match should have been on last night. That match would have been an absolute killer last night. I actually think they would have done that really well. It's really stupid. I'd like to see wrestling in a show billed as wrestling. Exactly. I want both. I want the wrestling, and I actually want to see strong, effective promos. Oh, but that's me being a hater. That's what I like in pro wrestling. I like both. I like to have both where they actually fit. If it's on TV, I want all of it across. If it's just a pay-per-view, then I just want the matches with short intro promo videos. Perfect. It's time the fan base starts speaking instead of eating the product. It's time. The question is, will they? Because I don't think they will. I think they're so... not sheep, because I think that's the wrong way. I think they're so prefixed or controlled to just have one thing instead of having both. And then when they get the other, they freak. I'll be honest, Gunther looked more like a threat being the IC title. This main title run's been disappointment. Some of it has not worked. Some of it really has not worked. And it's a shame because when you look at him, this guy is serious. Like, it's a shame for him that he was born very, very late. Because I think he would have been absolutely quality. Like, I think he would have been quality within the AWA. Like, Gunther versus Nick Bockwinkel makes sense. Or Gunther versus Ric Flair in the NWA, because obviously America in the 80s was obviously pre-planned to hate anything that wasn't American. That's not a dig at Americans, it's just how yous were. It's what yous were aiming for, and it's strong. International aggressive foreign relations makes money. And it's time for Seth to be number 1, tired of him being number 2 to Cody to Punk, to Roman, now to Punk. Do you think they're actually aiming for him to be the number 1? I think they've tried it so many times and they don't know whether it works enough or it just doesn't work. Because I think he's capable. But I'm starting to wonder. Before I come with that comment there, that's a great comment. James says, and I quote, a fantastic comment as well. I was thinking the same as well. Gunther not being there was so strange, and Braun Breaker not there. 2 of the show's champions. Why is he in the crowd? I know AW ain't perfect, not even close, but at least I can watch wrestling on their pay-per-views. It's getting hard to stay with WWE. I think you should stick with WWE, but just like AEW, call out WWE's weaknesses, call out AEW's weaknesses, praise their strengths. But some things need to be asked of. That's the best part of holding it accountable. You're holding that accountable, but you're also praising where it is. Last night, I will give them credit. Last night, the production at times was incredible. Like, I won't lie that some of the production last night was genuinely incredible. But there was also times where they went way over the top, a little bit overproduced. It's probably because they want to get a big first impression. But when they focus in the right way, you've got it. You've got it, and they've got to keep that. And why the hell is Dwayne on NXT tonight? I'm not actually sure why he's there. I don't know. Wouldn't surprise me if he's there to support Trick Williams. Undertaker with Rhea ran this. Undertaker was there, I believe, to put Rhea over. He was already part of the show. I think he was there to do what he did with Bray before Bray's unfortunate passing. I think it's almost as if like he's signaling you're the one for this division to carry it on. That's what it seems like. I could be wrong, but that's the vibe I'm getting. It was subtle, but I actually quite liked it. The only thing I didn't like was what happened soon after, where they really bloody ruined something. They ruined something special. Penta's moment, by the way. Yeah, that's a great point. Undertaker blessed Rhea and let everyone know she re-signed like Rock never drew. Yeah, when he handed the sword back to her. Here's a fun fact, and I apologise for everybody, I have to say his name again. Hulk Hogan's segment. Now we know that Steve Austin wasn't there. We know that they've signed a deal with. We know that they've signed a deal with Hulk Hogan's beer company. That Hulk Hogan segment, that was meant to be for Pentagon Jr. And I am not joking on that. I'm not joking. That was meant to be for Hulk Hogan, for Penta. But Hulk Hogan was given it. Like, that's genuinely shocking. Yeah, so Braun Breaker's the IC champion. He was with the crowd watching the show. What the hell is this? It's too many of those. I'm actually going to come onto that very importantly because there's something about the whole show that was consistently wrong. There's one thing about that show that's consistently wrong, so we're actually going to discuss that in just a few moments. Yeah, I'm not joking. That was meant to be for Penta, but instead they changed it to next week. And right on cue, my boy, it was supposed to be this. And I had a theory. It would have been Rey and Penta versus New Day, as expected. Now we're getting we're getting Penta versus Chad Gable, but Pentagon Jr. would have turned on Rey Mysterio. Apparently Becky was out to show up and failed. Yeah, that's right. They wanted him involved because it's the revolution, it's the start of the new period, which I understand. I still disagree with it. Levesque, it's time to stop with the BS and give us wrestling. Absolutely. Undertaker bless Rhea, we've had that. King Matthew, welcome to the stream, sir. I hope you're very well. I kind of feel like Solo should have won last night and Roman wins at Ula Fala at Royal Rumble, setting up Roman versus Rock and Mania. I'm going to go a little bit further. Solo should have won and The Rock should have put the Ula Fala on him in the way that he did with at the end of the segment. And I would have had Rock hit the rock bottom on Roman. For most of it, yeah. You know what's annoying, Catherine? It started great. And even Matthew agrees, he said on his watch along. I'd rather watch Ric Flair's final match than Hulk Hogan. Which one? Because he's had like 3. He'll have another one, trust me. He honestly will have another one. And it's quite frightening. Also, I feel like Seth should have beat Punk last night. Not that I don't like Punk, but I feel Seth deserved that win. I thought it would be a double disqualification. I had a double DQ. When Punk buries Gunther, I'll be done. Oh, that's a big one, like. I don't know if he will. I wanted Penta. I wanted to ruin his debut of a Ripcord. You motherfucker. KO showed up, but Cody didn't attack him, like, yeah. I know. Stand up for the Ripcord King. Stand up to that. I'm only kidding. In fact, it's good seeing y'all. There's 11 people watching. Thank you so much. It is an absolute pleasure having y'all here. If you would like to join, by the way, the links are in the chat, but I will drop them again for everybody if you would like to join, even for like 15-20 minutes if you want. You're all more than welcome. The links are back in the chat. I was expecting The Rock to do that. No Roman, just nothing. Thank you very much, Fletch. I really do appreciate it. We're actually going to talk about Roman versus Solo now, and I'm actually going to say this. And this is very, very, very fair. Portugal, eh? Good man, good man. I think Rock's going to betray Roman at Royal Rumble, and judge by Paul's reaction to Roman's win last night, I think Paul joins Rock. I think Paul helps. I think Paul will help Roman, like he'll sucker him in at the Rumble. You know what I mean? Like, I think he'll sucker him at the Rumble. Roman gets eliminated, and then instead of Heyman going back, Heyman will stay with Punk, and Heyman will help Punk win the Rumble and defeat Cena to win the match. Oh, I said his name. Rock was Dwayne last night. That's what people have to remember. Most of it. He was also that High Chief thingy. High Chief Sully. The Rock confirms at NXT tonight. I think he might face off with Eddie for pushing his daughter. Yeah, that's a good point. So damn happy that Hogan got booed. Like Iron Sheik is laughing in his grave. Iron Sheik? Something about him. Now, what was it? There was something about Iron Sheik. What was it? Oh, yeah. Fuck Hulk Hogan. That really has a manner of it. I did tell you to be part of the show. I did tell you. Well, plans are for Cena to win the Rumble and then Lesnar to return. I hope to Christ that Cena doesn't win the Rumble. I would credit you. I also saw it first. I'm not like it. I did get it from him. I had already seen it from Instagram as well. I didn't decide to use it until he said you should use it. So I will say that it was Billy's suggestion that I use it. I had another one planned, but if I did, this show would have been cut. Put it that way. The favour that Heyman got to Punk is Gunther's title. Yeah. Put a clap emoji in for Billy. He did something good. Put clap emojis in the chat for Billy, everybody. He deserves something. I think on SmackDown, Solo is going to brutally attack Roman. Remember when Roman attacked Jimmy and Jey after Jey pinned Roman and demanded Roman acknowledge him? I think Solo's going to do that. Yeah. Something like that. I never said acknowledge, because you already get weird for Roman. I can just picture Sheik saying, fuck that blonde jabroni Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan. Let's discuss the first of 4 matches of the night. So this is, as always, it is tribal combat or tribal waste of space, because the ending certainly was. It's Billy's favourite wrestler, Roman Reigns. Empty kind of Red Bull. Billy's favourite wrestler, Roman Reigns, versus Solo Sikoa. Tribal combat, winner gets the Ulafala, blah de blah de blah de blah. Just because I love the man doesn't mean you can do something, doesn't mean you can steal him. What was your dream match for Cena's retirement? Mine has to be Cena versus Braun Breaker or Cena versus Carmelo Hayes. You've actually mentioned one, Cena versus Braun Breaker. The other one I have is Cena versus AJ Styles in a 60-minute Iron Man match. Oh yeah, most of it. But I'm going to say this, and I think this is true. Paul Heyman will not work with The Rock. I think once he's out, he's out. He'll go back to Punk, or he'll go back to Heyman. Sorry, Heyman will go back to Punk, or Punk will go Braun Breaker. I don't think he'll be a part of. I don't think he'll work with Rock. Not like that. It just doesn't. It isn't necessary. I don't know why I want to see Theory versus Cena. See if he can finally prove himself. Cena Styles won't happen. It's done. Logan Paul retires Cena, guarantee it, or Dom for the pure heat they both get. It's not about. The question was, what was my dream? I said Cena versus Styles in a Iron Man match, purely because I'd like to see if he can still physically go. I know it's not going to happen, but he should be on the final tour, like on the final retirement tour. I was contemplating last night, because I'm going to give a shout out again to Graps TV, Matthew Shelton. He made a very strong argument last night on his Raw watch along, and I suggest you guys go and give it a watch. I mentioned Drew McIntyre myself as his retirement match. Matthew said his final match should be CM Punk. And I've been thinking about it since he said it last night on his review show. I would have CM Punk versus John Cena at Survivor Series. The main event of Survivor Series. The final of the big 4 pay-per-views. Do it at the final one of the year. Not the pay-per-view after that. Cena's final match should be that. It would be fun. I'm hoping this end this bloodline war bored out of my bloody mind for months. See when that ends. I swear to God, I actually might pray to God as a thank you. Roman doesn't need Heyman. No, he doesn't. Menace Drew retiring Cena wouldn't be bad. No, it wouldn't. You know what else I could see happening again if he comes back? Cena versus Nick Nemeth. John Cena, just waiting for Cena to murder Punk on the mic. That's possible. Got an interesting one. Kevin Owens versus Cena retirement match. What do you think? That might work. Question: when is the next draft? After the next brand split? Whenever they do that, because they did do the January they did that transfer draft thing during January. Talent are still going back and forth between the brands until the end of the month. I think it'll be long into the summer. Cena's last match should be Punk, since that was WWE's best moment with the pipe bomb. Matthew Shelton, everybody. Graps TV, check him out on YouTube. Strongly suggest you check him out. His Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty watch-alongs were incredible. Cena versus Punk at SummerSlam one last time. Actually, now you mention it, I want to have a look at something. I'm going to get everyone else to have a look as well. Give me 2 seconds. And I'll come back to your comments in a moment. I want to have a look at just one thing before we get into this Roman Reigns versus Solo match. I just want to have a look at SummerSlam for 2 seconds. SummerSlam 2025. Now, it's not 2 nights this year, isn't it? No, it is 2 nights. SummerSlam this year is in MetLife Stadium. Alright, I have an idea. Just for you. Just for my sister from another mister. Where is he? There you go, Rach. How are you? I hope you're doing really well. I'm going to come to your comments in a second. Now, I just want to come back to this comment for a second from Fletch. I think, hear me out, the score is currently 1-1. You guys are not going to like me for this, by the way. You are going to really hate me in the chat. So, I'm all for this. SummerSlam Night 2 main event. I would have this. But you guys are really going to hate me, by the way. I'm not kidding. I would have the trilogy. If he doesn't do anyone else, and not in that way, I mean, if he doesn't do anyone else in terms of a match for the rest of the year, I would have this for Night 2 main event, SummerSlam. No titles, no wagers, just it's there. In the stadium where he beat him to win his last WrestleMania title match. Now I'm saying it purely in that method. I'm not saying they should definitely do it. I'm just basing it on the location. That's at MetLife Stadium. I don't care, well, obviously nobody's really going to like it, I'm just suggesting it in that way. It's MetLife, and I think he would want to do that for him. He would give him one last chance. Not in the chance of like to beat him, but he would give him one last chance to have the match that they should have really got, where neither men were injured. Because let's be real, he got injured during the match and had to finish it. It does have an impact. I think after Kevin Owens attacked Roman last night, maybe in the future we get a faction between Drew, Seth, and KO. They both hate the bloodline, so it makes sense. Also, Seth and Drew hate Punk. Yeah, they do. They do. And Drew, KO, and Rollins is new. NWO could really cook. Depends on what role you put them in. That's a hard one. Maybe a different faction. Did you see Drew whisper at The Rock and he said he'd make it happen? That was definitely a seed planted on. Yeah. WWE title match. Alright, the guy. Punk's pipe bomb was overrated. Strong comment. Strong comment. I respect the opinion, of course. I respect the opinion. Pipe bomb is amazing, but when I realised it was scripted because Punk had done the same thing in Ring of Honor as kids disappointed me. He'd done it on his last ever day of Ring of Honor, which was mad. Survivor Series makes sense for his last match. Whoever faces his last opponent, though, I do not know. As long as his last opponent's not Randy Orton. MJF versus Cena before retirement would be something I'd love to see also. Just don't say that to Billy. He'd probably try to shoot you. Roman versus Punk in a Heyman on a pole match. Ugh. That would be awkward. Roman versus Punk for Heyman's custody, but Lesnar shows up and steals Heyman. Braun Breaker then turns up and spears Lesnar and says, "This is my bitch." I don't want to see old Cena versus old Dwayne. Billy's going, no. Now he's sounding like Darth Vader with his nose. I don't think it would happen, but not against it. See, the guy gets it. I don't know if you heard, but no. Triple threat, Cena versus Punk versus Dwayne. Who, like, I think the stipulation should be whoever gets injured first has to take the pin. What about Legend Killer Orton surpassing Cena and about retiring Cena, surpassing him in title numbers, breaking the record? He would need to win. I think it's Randy Orton needs 3 more world title wins to officially break the record. Cena needs just, well, the official WWE record. Cena only needs 1 more. So it would be interesting. I don't think Randy Orton's going to win 3 world titles in that time frame. Not too sure about that, to be honest. If that was to happen, then I wouldn't lose sleep over it. This is a good one. I want a rematch with Cena and Miz, since Miz was concussed during his match Mania when he beat Cena. That's a good shout, actually. It's a good shout. Maybe we get Cena versus Wade Barrett again. Orton should dethrone Cody. I think the writing was already on the wall for him to lose the title at Saturday night's main event. I'm not sure if we're gonna get. Orton to do it. I don't think Cena should do it either. I'm fully against that idea. Cena should not win that 17th world title. I'm sorry to Cena fans, but it's just my opinion. It doesn't need to happen. But Orton dethroning Cody wouldn't be a bad thing. I think we're going to get a totally left field option. I think it's either going to be Drew, or someone else is going to decide, you know what, I've had enough, I'm just taking it. Now, if you can figure out who I'm thinking of, top prize. Cena versus Orton for WrestleMania, I still believe needs to happen. No. That opportunity is gone, my friend. It's dead. What about his biggest fan, R-Truth? Cena and R-Truth will win the tag titles this year. Bold prediction. If Levesque wants to turn Cody heel, Cena would be an amazing babyface to go against him. He would. I agree. Do you think Benoit and Eddie would still be wrestling if they were alive? Eddie Guerrero, yes, he would still be to a degree. Benoit, no. I think if what had happened hadn't happened, I think he would have went until about 2013, and then he would have tapped out. Not essentially tapped out, but he would have just retired. I think Eddie would have went close. I think Eddie would have done different areas, maybe come back to WWE, kind of like what Rey Mysterio did, test the waters of his career a little bit, see what more he can do. I think in that way they would, to a degree. Oh dear God. Oh dear God. I think main event Jey Uso versus Cena would be cool. You know what's mad? I think we might get this at one of the international pay-per-views. Cena versus R-Truth, imagine the reception of R-Truth wins. He just has to beat him with his own moves and it'd be hilarious. Would you put Gunther on the world title on SmackDown and the WWE title on Raw? Yes. Yes, I would. I think essentially they've lost what it means for Gunther on that brand, and they are apparently going to make SmackDown more about the wrestling again. So I think they need to just switch around and just let Gunther just go and do wrestling matches. It's his strength. I don't know why, but deep down I believe The Rock will defend that People's Championship against Cody sometime. He'll retain it, and then he'll declare himself the TNA champ. Probably Benoit would have gone to TNA because he was not happy in the ECW brand. There's actually elements of truth to this, but there's also elements where it's actually not factually correct. It's not that he was not happy in the ECW brand, he was not happy that it wasn't matching what it was supposed to be because Vince was taking all the control away from Heyman, hence why Heyman quit. Even though he was going to win the title, they just didn't believe in him. Benoit was actually going to win the World Championship as well. He was going to take it from Edge until Edge got injured. That's why they made Kane do the Great American Bash with him. Like, there's a lot of elements of truth to that. I still feel like Rey Mysterio deserves a rematch against Cena since Cena beat Rey for the WWE title after Rey won it. Yes, he does. I would give that a Raw 25-minute main event. I think that's only going to work on a Raw main event. I don't think they'll do it on pay-per-view. WWE has the opportunity to bring ECW back with Heyman control. I wish they did that. That is correct, and he won't. I can guarantee you for a fact that CM Punk will politic his way out of that match. He would politic his way out of it. I know it's not going to happen, but bring Brock back and obliterate Cena. 150 German suplexes? Maybe? I don't think Jeff would survive Punk on the mic. No, he wouldn't. But the match may surprise depending on the stipulation. Speaking of stipulations, tribal combat. Do Do you see Punk bringing Nexus back with NXT stars? When he takes over NXT, he'll formulate his own. I can see it. I don't think he'll have one similar now because he's competing. He wants to be champion. But you might see him try to build something of his own. I'm not sure if it'll be Nexus, but that's a great shout. Tribal Combat was your first match of the new Netflix Raw era, and frankly, this match didn't suck. Reece said a bad word. If Nick Aldis becomes a WWE wrestler in the future on SmackDown brand, do you think The Rock should take his place as SmackDown GM? No. Kurt Angle should come back and take the job. Do you think Eddie will dethrone Trick? Yes. Tribal Combat was okay. Tribal Combat was meh. Tribal Combat was exactly what it needed to be. It was just there. It actually started very strongly. And this is why. It actually accommodated to the arena. It actually is built for an arena like this. The problem, that will happen this year. That should happen. Kurt Angle. Don't worry. We all know who the real tribal chief is, my friend. We all know who the real tribal chief is. And it's this man.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in
Reece Russell.
I believe in
Reece Russell.
That's your real tribal chief. My problem with the match was they wasted Solo. Solo should have won. He lost both Tribal Combat matches against Cody and Roman. They should have made it harder for Roman to get the Ula Fala back. Absolutely. They should have made it harder, and they should have denied the ability. Everyone's getting the laughs in. See, told you I make these streams fun and entertaining. That's my aim. We're an hour and 8 minutes in, and you guys are all laughing, and these are all sticking with me. Nick's done a good job. He can take it from Baldy McBald on Raw. Bald. I need a moment. I believe in Billy. Solo is now like 4-65 and overall. Solo's matches, they're not strong. Fletch, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. You've been an absolute treasure in this stream. It's been a pleasure having you here. We've got content all throughout the week, so please do come back and check us out. And there's certainly so much along the way that you'll absolutely like. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I will subscribe to your channel as well. I always do. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to do it right now because I do it for everybody. So, go channel. Bang! There you go. I'm your 91st subscriber. I think Solo is still gonna. I think Solo is gonna steal. That's what I was meant to say. The Ula Fala back from Roman on SmackDown. If he wants to get heat, he should destroy in front of Roman. See, I have an idea about that. As I said to you, Stone Cold's entrance would be, I believe in Steve Austin. What? I believe in Steve Austin. What? Yeah, 100%. I thought Solo did well, to be fair. They never was going to happen, though, where the Werewolf took charge of the Black Group. Here's where the change comes. Elimination Chamber. I think something happens at the Elimination Chamber. Who do you think had the most potential but got in their way? Alberto Del Rio would be one of mine. What a freaking great question. Jeff Hardy would be one of mine. You know what, I'm not gonna say his name. I'm just gonna put it as a banner, and then I'm gonna turn my camera off because the guy he betrayed me. He betrayed me as a fan for what he did. For me, it's Marty Scurll. I know I've said it there, but obviously, because I have to reiterate a point. What he did is disgusting, and I will forever hate him for it because I was a fan of his. I was at the time an honorary member of Villain Club because it was cool, and then he ruined it with what he did. Like it pained me. Oh, we've already mentioned Vince numerous times, buddy. Like, we've mentioned Vince numerous times tonight already. When Bronson Reed returns, do you think he may go after Roman for Roman injuring him? No. I think he goes after... CM Punk. Have fun, my man. Enjoy your meal. Thanks very much. It's good seeing you. Tribal Combat, though. So, this match is exactly what it needs to be. It's no holds barred, no rules. We do get the interference as expected. The family embroils itself. We do get one unfortunately bad timed botch. That's the Jacob Fatu interference. He botches it on the broken table. He goes for the first super kick. He gets mixed in his position. He actually has to change his starting position. It's brutal. It's violent. Obviously, Roman he doesn't go through the table. He gets slammed on the table. The spinning Uranagi drop that he does. We get multiple kickouts. We get far too many Samoan spikes, far too many spears, which I think was over the top. I think there was far too many moves used in that way. I don't think they were building it in that manner. We got Sami Zayn coming out. We had Jey Uso. We had Jim Uso. Sorry. We had Kevin Owens who hits the stunner. We had Cody Rhodes come out. Any possibility you can get was involved. But I do agree with Matt here. I would have ended it with Drew. It would have been strength. But we're going to come to that match in a minute because that match is going to get slaughtered. Like, that match is going to get crucified. I knew it wasn't all his fault, but the way he was, Mr. Kenny, was a wasted talent. I know the politics effed him, but he was also his own worst enemy. That's not incorrect. He's absolutely spot on. Mr. Kennedy sabotaged himself for what he did. It didn't help, however, that Cena and Orton purposely made sure that he got booted out, though. Like, they made their efforts count. It is a true fact. Roman wins. We then get this moment. No music. He just walks to the ring. We then get that stare. Can I just say, that stare right there, that's poetry in motion. Like, that is very, very crafty. You're on something if you think that, you dafty. Even if you're trying to troll or joke. That's embarrassing. Everybody knows I hate Jey Uso because he can't wrestle. We get that moment, Rock Roman. Roman presents the Ulafala from Heyman directly on the shoulders of Roman. He does his acknowledgement, positioning and his phrase. Heyman does it as well. Heyman gives a very jaunting look, which has already been mentioned in the chat, which was absolutely spot on. Well done, guys, for also noticing it. I would rather have no hands. I would absolutely have no hands than do that, Billy. Christopher Leclerc, welcome to the stream, sir. Thank you very much. And also, take one for yourself. Subscriber for you as well. I feel like with all the people coming out to attack Roman, it would have made sense for Drew to come out, even if he had a segment solo a few weeks ago. A go solo for Drew to come out and help solo win. It would have made more sense. It would have. Today's Bayley's 12-year anniversary of being in WWE, and I just subscribed on my phone. I've just subscribed back to you as well. And that is correct. It is her anniversary. She's going to SmackDown, I think. I think she'll appear on Raw. Actually, no, sorry. She'll stay on SmackDown for very soon. She'll be on Raw next week permanently. She'll be a member of the Raw brand. You hate Jey Uso. What do you mean 1,000 super kicks and a Samoan drop isn't enticing as a fan? Absolutely not. He's just got the same moveset as every single one of them. Honestly, there's nothing different about them. The only standout from an active perspective is Jacob Fatu. Alberto Del Rio would have been the perfect replacement of Rhea. He had all the tools to be the next Mexican star, more so than Andrade because he was a way better talker. Ooh, that's a bold claim. But you're right. Raw is in Bayley's hometown of San Jose. That is true. Raw also coming up will be in Madison Square Garden. So I'm expecting something big at the MSG show. I know Catherine is in the live chat. She's just being a little bit quiet. I went to Mania 40, had such high hopes for Jimmy versus Jey, and boy, did they let me down. It was the worst WrestleMania match I've ever seen. With all the returning legends we had last night, I'm surprised Steve Austin wasn't there, and it would have been cool to see a second of him in The Rock. It was actually disgraceful he wasn't even mentioned. Alberto's problem is he never met domestic violence charge he couldn't get into. Oh, the man loved to get into a scrap. Or scrap anyone. He's a disgusting human being. Catherine's in the chat. I know she watches his podcast, so I'm about to butcher him, but throughout the show last night, and in certain moments that may or may not have scarred me for life, Matthew Shelton will know what I'm talking about as well. There's one moment on this show that scarred me for life. We know that. We know that. That's not what we said. We said the fact even that he didn't even get a mention. Oh, that's coming up. I'm about to speak about Cena first. And the women's match. But we will get to this. What I was actually going to say, actually it's the women's match next, to be fair anyway, so we're going to dive in. But what I was actually going to say is someone needs to remind the commentators that they're commentators, not dancers. Ugh. And also, I hope you feel better soon, Catherine. I hope you feel better soon. I also want to reiterate as well that I think Pat McAfee spoils this show. I don't know a lot about Joe Tessitore or whatever he's called, but I actually think absolutely think Joe Tessitore should have stayed. I think Joe Tessitore should have stayed on Raw, and I think Pat McAfee should have stayed the hell away from pro wrestling. I'm sorry, but he was genuinely a horrible commentator. I don't like his energy. I don't like his stupid comments. I don't like his behaviour. I don't like that he doesn't take this as serious as I think people think he does. He doesn't fit it for me at all. He was one of the few things from last night that I absolutely hated. I hated his commentary. But I think when he's actually got a good commentator beside him, Michael Cole can still be expressive and not be a clown. And it's enjoyable when he's with people who just do the job, like Wade Barrett or Joe Tessitore, barely, but still, you know what I mean? Like, it works. Jericho and Lawler with Michael Cole wouldn't have been a bad shout either. Or stick Paul Heyman on commentary. When Paul Heyman isn't doing the wise man at ringside, put Paul Heyman on commentary with Michael Cole. They did it on SmackDown and it worked. Like, it worked 24 years ago, it would still work now. Just him. Yeah, being the whitest white boy. Yep, true. Roman winning was right call. Let's move on to no event Jey Uso versus Craft at the Castle. For fuck's sake. We need to talk about the women's match first. And we need to talk about Cena's over-the-top promo. I'm curious as to why Damian Priest wasn't out there to attack Dawn Mysterio during the women's match when Dawn was trying to interfere. I think it was purely because Rhea wanted to prove she can do it on her own. I love Pat, he's just different to the rest, and Cole and him are a good team. I don't see it, buddy. I despise him because I don't think he's fit for pro wrestling. He just doesn't understand it for me. He just doesn't get it. See, when he's doing his football, well, his American football podcasts and his American football commentary, you can see he stands out. His enthusiasm and his energy actually sticks strongly. When he does it WWE, it feels meh. I actually think the guy on NXT is the best commentator they've got. Not Booker T, the other guy. I barely watch NXT, but when I do, I think his commentary is good. Like, I do think his commentary is good. It sucks JR's on AW. Imagine if he was still on WWE. I don't know. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Big Joseph. I think the problem is now is JR would still get the same thing that happens to him. The guy would get ill, they would get rid of him. Every time he had a Bell's palsy attack, they got rid of him. No, you would not. Also, Rhea ended her bit with Judgment Day, so she had to be on her own. Priest ends his next week against Finn, that's why. Here's the thing. They could have ended it yesterday. Because we're about to really, really kill it now. WWE doesn't want JR because of his age. Yeah. Fun fact. Guess how many commercial breaks the Americans had yesterday on Netflix? Have a guess. Don't worry. We're an hour, 24 minutes and 50 seconds in. So I'll give you guys about 40 seconds to make a guess. Have a guess. I mean, timing, technically that's correct, but how many breaks? He's got a grand total, but they're now saying, yeah, King Matthew's also saying 2 hours. Oh, it was more than that. It was a lot more than that. You took 15 breaks. The total out. So Billy, the question was, how many commercial breaks do you think the Americans got last night on Netflix compared to the UK? All we got were hype videos, no commercial breaks. How many true commercial breaks do you think they got? James Dunlop, you're the closest. This is close. Bit more. Like, a bit more. Oh, we're getting there now. These are getting there. These are very close. You're the closest. I'll give you until past to get your final guesses in. Oh, guess. Okay, I'm gonna put in the chat now. Bingo. The Americans last night got a grand total of 37 breaks on Netflix. The UK commercial videos were more than half of that. 37 ad breaks. We were more than half with the hype videos. Plus the 2-second black screen breakaways. I'm sorry, but for your first ever event on Netflix, that's unacceptable. I'm sorry. That's overkill. That's worse than TV. Like, that's worse than standard TV. But also, you're doing this to your national audience. If I was an American, I would be immigrating. Like, or changing your VPN to a different country. Like, that is awful. I know. It's ridiculous. I feel like Drew McIntyre should have beaten Jey Uso just last night just because they had him on a streak against the Bloodline. It didn't make sense for Drew to lose. Bingo. Speaking of streaks, Rhea Ripley. She streaks quite well. Rhea Ripley was on a losing streak to Liv Morgan. She's lost 2 matches to her on the bounce. We were going for the trifecta, or should I say Liv Morgan, or Mid Morgan, as that front row fan did during her entrance. Shout out to that fan for calling her Mid Morgan, someone understands. Remember this from yesterday? And today? All the pieces of the puzzle? Well, that's Liv Morgan's career. Liv Morgan's career is now officially complete. Because she's absolutely shit. Get rid of her. She's a talentless hack. Yesterday, she is carried in that match. And also, correct me if I'm wrong, but for the past few weeks, up until yesterday, the match was a last woman standing. correct me if I'm wrong. Up until last night, the match was last woman standing. Now, I know at some point I'm going to go blind. I'm alright with that. But just correct me if I'm wrong. And whilst we're waiting for the answer, I'm just going to put in a little bit of a little song change. Well, StreamYard song change. We're now on the Night Road. Liv Morgan had a good run with the women's champion, the women's world title. Okay. Well, here's a question just for you, Christopher, because again, this is your opinion. I respect it. What was it about her run that you think was good? What do you think about her run was good? Not, and I'm going to disassociate my dislike for Liv Morgan as a talent. I'm going to just simply ask you, what about her run that you think was good? Because I'd like to see what you think. King Matt says, I feel like Rhea didn't need another belt. I feel like Becky should have won it back, and we could have gone Becky versus Rhea in a WrestleMania rematch. See, I think she will get a title match, but we don't need Becky versus Rhea at WrestleMania. But I think we are going to get a Becky heel turn. I still think the better match is Rhea versus Io Sky. I still think that's the better match. Yeah, she really changed. Look at the way that match goes. Look at the way that match goes. Rhea she's in Apex mode. Like, she's in Apex killer mode. Every moment she gets, move for move, she doesn't miss a beat. She does not miss a beat at all. Like, this looked like Rhea was like, this was like after Charlotte Mania mode. You know what I mean? Like, that level of driven commitment. The real match is Rhea versus Delta. What about Rhea versus Stephanie Vaquer? Who do you think is going to be the new Women's IC champion, Dakota Kai or Lyra Valkyria? For me, I would say Dakota Kai. For me, she's the right choice. Liv Morgan held the WWE Women's title longer than her run with SmackDown World Champion. Yeah, that's true. That's correct. Like, that is absolutely spot on. But just because you held the title longer doesn't mean the run was good. Like Gunther, for example, we held the IC title longer. But I think many would say his NXT UK title run was better out of all three titles he's held. World title at the moment, arguably the worst. However, I do agree with you. She has held this title. She did hold that title longer. But was it particularly good? That's the question. And I don't think it was. I don't think Liv Morgan is a good champion. She is a good chaser. But I don't think she's a good champion. I think there's not many that they've got that are fit for those kind of roles that consistently match up. I think she's much better chasing the gold than she is winning the gold. Matthew Shelton agrees with me, saying he'd do that one as well, which is Dakota Kai, but Dakota's the right choice, but Becky 2.0 will win. King Matthew says, my problem with Liv's reign is the constant interference in this hot tip. I feel like Zelina Vega should have beaten Liv for the belt. Great call. You know what's weird? She had to cheat to beat Zelina Vega. You know what I mean? That's when you know things are weird. I also have Dakota Kai winning the Women's Intercontinental Championship match next week on Monday Night Raw. I hope it's the main event, not the street fight. The one thing she has is character as wrestling is okay. The only reason she held on that belt for 8 months is because Ripley got injured and she was a placeholder. Yeah, but there was other options. At least that's what I can see. I think they gave it to her far too long, and that really was quite wild. Rhea win had to happen last night as a champion. I haven't been impressed with Liv's reign. Not all surprised it wasn't good. Yeah, I thought it was the way they handled it. it was also good to see that she came out just brutally attacking them, and the fact that she wasn't satisfied with one. There's moments where I think you have too many finishers where it really is boring, and you have some matches where having so many finishers works. This one made sense because one isn't enough. Not to beat Liv Morgan. You can beat Liv Morgan with one finish. It was good to have multiple because you're proving the point that she really is getting her back for all the problems that Liv Morgan has caused her. So I agree with using multiple riptides because that's making a huge statement. And I like that way of using a multiple finish. That's what I'm talking about here. I wanted Natty to be the inaugural IC champ, but WWE gives fuck all about tradition. I had her or Shayna Baszler. Or, well, Dakota Kai and Shayna Baszler were my outside pick, to be fair, was Natalya just because of that. I do agree in that way. I feel like tradition doesn't mean much now. It's a shame, really. I think they moved Naomi to Raw, turn Naomi heel, and have her beat Rhea and give her a decent reign. What do you do with Bianca Belair? You're crowning the first ever Women's Intercontinental Championship. Should be the main event of Raw. It should be. I'm going to give you a very bold take right now. That street fight next Monday, I guarantee you, it will be the worst match of the night. And it's not because I don't like them. It's because I don't think they'll get it right. Look no further than the Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso match for why it will go wrong. I think Nia might have been a better champion in terms of dominance. Yeah, I do agree that they had to get the title off her because the WrestleMania match they're going to have, she will not get near it. What is it the prediction for the stipulation for the Seth and Punk rematch? I feel like it should be a street fight. That's if Punk's not injured. We'll come on to that though. I'll start that question because that's a good one. I will start it and I'll come back to it when we discuss the main event. Because I like that idea. I also have another one in mind. So, the end of the match has already been mentioned, but we do get a return of The Undertaker, and obviously Michael Cole was creaming in his pants. But we did get this moment. Firstly, this one. Can I just say I love the jubilation in her face. Also, Dirty Sanchez gets the low blow and he gets riptide in the middle of the ring. Raquel, less said than Raquel the better because she's been ruined by what they've done to her. I don't like her new look. It's actually degrading. But whether you like her or not, this is still a good spot. And also, look at this fan. He looks so chill. He looks so happy. It's nice to see stuff like that. We then get something that does matter, but went too long. This. Now, if you are a John Cena fan, you either want to mute this or you want to cry for a second. I wouldn't mind that as well, provided Rhea beats her. If you are a John Cena fan, you're not gonna like this. Thank you, my man. There are some of my edits that I put up from the show as well. There you go. One more time for you. I have issues with that John Cena promo. Now, it absolutely got the crowd buzzing. So, job done. I think he didn't want to change. I think he would have had an issue with his gimmick. He probably would have went back into his head, his eyes would have rolled back one more time, and he would have risen back up from the dead. Die, die, die. There's a Rock throwback for you. Or should I say, die, die, die. I think the Cena promo really let itself down last night because it went too long. Now, we know when it comes to promo skills, he deserves his flowers. He knows how to get the crowd going. He absolutely knows what words to say at the right moment to get the crowd going. And then he blows it with wasted stuff. He did not have to constantly mention how he's going to get to the world title, or if he's going to get to the world title, who he's going to face, who he's not going to face. Will he be at WrestleMania? Will he face Cody Rhodes? Will he face Gunther? Will he win the Elimination Chamber? Will he be in the Money in the Bank? Will he win the Royal Rumble? We already knew he was going to be in the Royal Rumble. What he should have done is he should have said, because he was actually in the audience, he should have called out Logan Paul, reminded him that he has no place in WWE, and you build that match for WrestleMania by having Logan Paul and John Cena as numbers 1 and 2 at the Royal Rumble. Cena eliminates Logan Paul. Then Logan Paul comes back, distracts Cena at the behest of Mr. Heyman, and then Punk wins the Rumble. We don't need Cena to win the World Championship in his final run. Just saying. Who do you think Nia will do? What do you think Nia will do? I would have her face Jade or Bianca at Mania. I think it's going to be Bianca versus Jade. Nia, I don't think will have a match at WrestleMania. I don't think Nia will have a match at WrestleMania. I know you're trolling, so that's okay. I feel like Gunther should have interrupted Cena and have them face off, potentially tease Cena with a belt. The main event Raw if he wants that World Championship match so much. I've seen the leak script for the Royal Rumble that Cena should see Cena winning it. There's a lot of them. These happen every single year. He should not be winning this. Yeah. I know what you meant. I don't think Cena should be winning the Royal Rumble. He would become the second man to win 3, but he doesn't need to win it. Not in my opinion, anyway. He's probably going to win the Elimination Chamber. I think it'll be Punk and Cena that wins those 2 respective matches. But I don't think we need it anyway. He doesn't need it. Like, he essentially doesn't need that opportunity. But we'll see. We'll see. So, we've had Rollins win. We've had the Rock segments. We've had a Triple H cold open. We also have the New Day trying to talk again, and it fails. We have Bailey showing on screen with as he's been called, fun enough by Billy, Baldy McBald. That's good. That's staying. That's staying now. That'd be funny. Baldy McBald. We get more New Day segments. We get So many celebrity shots. Macaulay Culkin at his first WWE event since WrestleMania 7. We have Bill Simmons, the returning Nikki Bella, who coincidentally made very interesting comments regarding WWE when she left. We get Braun Breaker in the crowd. Rey Mysterio with Eddie Guerrero's shirt. LA Knight, Tiffany Stratton. Gabriel Iglesias with the most bootleg shirt I've ever seen. Vanessa Hudgens. I'm glad that she's there. She's not getting beaten out of the crowds because people were trying to do that on social media. Please stop doing that to fans who actually just want to watch a show. We had a certain Mr. O'Shea. It was stacked. We're about to come to that. We have Travis Scott. Fair enough, I can see that. Sadly, he's never going to turn heel. Never again. This is what we're coming to. Do you think Roman Reigns is going to have a match against Drew McIntyre after Drew tried to cost Solo Roman's match against Solo last night? Yeah, it's coming. Travis Scott. Comes to WWE for the Netflix premiere before Jey Uso's over-the-top entrance. And you know you're not on TV networks anymore. Exactly when you're smoking a blunt in a nearly packed arena, a nearly sold out arena, you're smoking a joint. I have got no idea who authorized this, but that really shocked me. That is something I never thought I would see. No, I have seen it once before, and I didn't appreciate it then. I saw Jeff Hardy do it against Mr. Anderson in TNA. He literally lit one up just to smoke it and put it out on the arena floor. I was very surprised that you had him do that in the crowd. Oh yeah, they'll be saying they're edgy. I don't think it was edgy. I think it was a little bit tone deaf. But it also made Travis Scott look like a bit of a clown when he sings your theme song. Why not just have Travis Scott do a performance of the song before you get to Jey Uso's match? You know what I mean? And also, the amount of times they went around celebs last night took away from the fact that in the bloody audience you had Lyra Valkyria and Dakota Kai. So not only have you got them in this, you've got them in the audience, but you won't put their match on until next week. Why not just give us a 5-match Raw card and give us 2 women's matches, and you give us the women's Intercontinental title match that everyone's been waiting for? Just out of curiosity. Right. Jey Uso makes his entrance, we get all that. We then get, of course, Drew McIntyre's entrance comes out, calm, collected, ready for a fight. Jey Uso does what every flying man does. He does his suicide dive, connects, goes for the second, gets caught, wrapped into the stairs, back in the ring, and it's brutal from Drew McIntyre. Up and down, pillar to post, one side of the ring to the next, corner to corner. He is beating the hell out of him. We get a fair finish attempts from both men. Some are successful. And the match, to a degree, is going fairly well in terms of pace. Until we get the injury angle. And they really made a mistake here. Jey Uso was, at that moment, he was out. It wasn't until Drew McIntyre started calling for the Claymore that obviously Jey Uso starts to recover. He gets back up and he does that counter and he wins by roll-up. Firstly, you beat one of your top heels with a roll-up after an injury angle? No. I'm sorry, but no. Last night, Drew should have won. It was convincing fashion. Now, they're going to come back and they're going to say, oh, it's not that tall. It's the right decision. It's Jey Uso's getting a win back because he's never beaten Drew. That was pretty much when it was confirmed that Jey was going to win, when Michael Cole said that he's never beaten Drew. It's almost like a death sentence in a way. They obviously reiterated on commentary as well that for McIntyre, it was just classic McIntyre. It was his anger getting the best of him and he loses control. Bear in mind that before this match started, you had a good 2, 3, 4 minutes, something like that. You had 2 to 4 minutes of Michael Cole and Pat McAfee dancing and doing the yeet on the announce table. Now, I said about a while ago, about an hour ago, I said that there was a moment on this show that scarred me potentially for life. Michael Cole doing the yeet on the announce table. That actually was scarring. I'm actually going to have a look because the comments are obviously in here when we spoke about it. So, where is it? Well, I said it was actually in the chat as well 30 minutes ago, but it was that bad. My other problem was last night is there was no face-to-face between Punk and Rock, and also how Rock was face when he left, he was heel. Crowds for you. They have that effect. If you are a certain type of talent, you can go anywhere, come back as XYZ, and all is forgiven. Just how you say it, how you deliver it changes it. Please don't do the yeet stuff again like that. If you're just going to do it, just let him and the fans do it. Not your commentators. It's really embarrassing. Especially when it takes away from the performance. It took away from them actually able to call a match that was actually decent. It just swipes it. And I think that's quite costly. But it ends with a babyface winning by roll-up. The injury angle, the referee should have threw it out and gave the win to Drew McIntyre, or Drew should have just pinned him there and then. It was wrong. Or if a better way to do the roll-up, instead of counting the Claymore, is he goes for the... If he went for the Future Shock DDT instead, he goes to do the DDT, like the motion, he spins out and then he does a small boy, small package. Like a small package from there would have worked, other than the roll-up Claymore counter. But see, that's the thing, is I see it differently. See, the commentators do makes me cringe. It's so cringe. I'm also curious as to why Jey wasn't there during the Roman match with the OG Bloodline. That was a chance to have Drew come out attack Roman, then the OG Bloodline come out with Jey. I actually don't know. Catherine, you never fail to make me laugh, even on the inside silent. I would have Punk versus Seth in Hell in a Cell at Mania, or Punk versus Roman. Punk versus Roman is going to happen at Mania or SummerSlam. If Punk doesn't win the Rumble, speaking of people no one likes, the worst segment of the show. You don't. First of all, you get the announcement that Chad Gable is going to be facing a luchador next week. We know it's Pentagon Jr. Pentagon Jr. doesn't even get his moment on this Raw. It's given to Hulk Hogan. Lil Jon going to be changing to down yeet motherfucker. Jesus Christ. That match with Drew and Jey was worse than Jey versus Jimmy at Mania. That's a strong point. Jey was busy getting high in Karen. He still is high. He's probably got more DUIs on his record. Or as I call it, the Uso enjoyment of being a twat. I wasn't at all shocked that with that gobshite appearing last night. The fact that he appeared off a jet in a MAGA shirt. Are you an imbecile? What's up, Mike? How are you? Wait, is that the real? Are you the real one? Because if you are, that's legendary. You guys can all see that, yeah? If this is the real one, that is quality. Because I thought this guy does follow me on, like, the real Mike Kyoda does follow me on X. If you're the real one, would you like to come and say hello? I'm actually not joking. If you would like to come say hello, you're more than welcome. It's going really well, thank you. How are you? Would you like to come and say hello to our audience? If this happens, I swear to God, this would be quality. No, actually, wait. Alright, Mike. I know, guys, get your comments in for Mike. Mike Kyoda, literally, there's the link for you. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. 20 minutes. Perfect. Oh, I'm chill. If I get Mike on this program to talk, this channel's gonna fucking, oh Jesus Christ. I just didn't understand Kevin Owens appearing to attack Roman last night. Should have been Drew. It doesn't make sense for Kevin to interfere when he told Cody he hates Cody between Raw. That makes sense. See if he actually showed in that way, you would have had the perfect follow for the show and the story. Like, it actually would tie in really well. Just like I think they've kind of mixed up with Hogan. How did you feel about the return of John Cena last night? I think, me personally, and this is what I'm going to say, all of the guys are talking to you, by the way, Mike. You've got, like, King Matt saying hello to you. James is saying you're joking, no fucking way. I'm going to say in the nicest way, I think Cena's return, in a way, it was the right show, right place, right time, because obviously the prototype, his first world title win at WrestleMania. I just think the worst thing about it is I think his promo went more out of the way than it was supposed to. I think he overthanked and it kind of took away from his plans, but you're still getting a top response, and I think that's really impressive. I just think if he had dialed it down a little bit and he would have called someone out, I think it would have been good. I think right there for the taking, he should have called out Logan Paul. I think that missed that killer edge. What do you think, though? Actually, we're going to find out very, very soon. Punk doesn't have to win the Rumble. He can get eliminated by Seth. Ooh. Punk and Seth in the Elimination Chamber as well, by the way. Catherine's also saying hello, Mike. Guys, I'm not kidding. Tweet this out. Tag the Weekly Steelchair. Tag Mike Chioda. Mike Chioda will be joining us very, very shortly on the Weekly Steelchair. Guys, if you've got any questions for Mike, drop them in the chat and I will star them. I feel like Finn and Damian match should have been last night. Yeah, it's certainly possible. Like, it's absolutely possible that it should have been. If it's not going to be till next week, then there's a reason for it. I think you could have had it last night, but it might have just been that they had the way of the show filled out, that they may not have known where they were going to put it. I think that's the only thing that doesn't really stand out, and I think that's the only problem. I'm trying to find reasons for why they could have done it and why they didn't do it. I don't know. Actually, here's a question, because Catherine put up, she asked me last night, do I like her on? I said, I'm not so sure. What did you guys think of the ring, and what did you think of the new referee shirts? What did you think? You're my guy, thank you. Just remember, I didn't see this coming. I've responded to Mike Chioda's tweets before. The guy does follow me. He is a legend. I did not see that coming. Straight out of NASCAR, yeah. Are you talking about the ref, Mike Chioda? Yeah. He's going to be on. He is going to be on here very soon. Oh, Charles Robinson's another great. I think if you had to name the 5 greatest referees, Chioda and Charles Robinson are in the 2. I would say, obviously, Earl Hebner. Controversially as well, Nick Patrick. Yes and no. Oh, I mean, yes, we've had, maybe the feud's gone on long enough, but in terms of the 2 of them in general, no, I think we're still going to get more, but not with each other. We're going to get something totally different, you know what I mean? But the feud has to end in the street fight, surely. It has to end. I'm just going to take a little short break as well, so give me 2 seconds, guys. But Mike will be here very shortly. I'm really excited for that. I'm back. Right, so sorry guys, I'm just getting messages about like the fact that Chioda's coming on. I'm not kidding. Do you think David Arquette should be the celebrity host of WrestleMania this year since he was in WCW? I actually think the celebrity host this year, ironically, yeah, I do. And I think as a troll moment, he should come out with the big gold belt. Earl Hebner's a great. Like, he is a genuine great. So was his brother. The Finn Damien feud is like the Bloodline story, it's never ending. It is, but that's where we're at now. I don't actually know where we're going. Like, if you can't end it after a street fight, where does it end? Because you can't add another stipulated match. 100% Catherine is just dragging on and on, just painful to watch. And I'm a fan of both. They need different views. I know you like both. I like both as well in different ways. I think Finn Balor's great, but I just don't understand what he needs to do here. I don't know what he has to do to change it. Like, it makes no sense. Like, and also Damian Priest, he should change his focus now too. I think he needs to change his focus, but I don't think he's going to. But that's the nature of the game. Unfortunately, we're in a situation where it's not going to. I have got my other monitor lighting up. I just want to check something quickly on Twitter, guys. I just want to see. Let me just. Matthew Shelton, you are a good man, sir, if you're still watching. Let me just see if I can find one little thing. Just want to get that. I'm here. I know you're here. I know you're here for this. You also definitely reminded me of Deonna Purrazzo. Let me just see if I can get. I'm not sure if you heard of the movie, but I'm currently swapping between the stream and watching Scream 1 right now. To be fair, David Arquette was class in that. Yes, I have. I have indeed. Let me just see if he's available. Let me just see if I can get him in this way. So, just because he is following me on Twitter, let me just see if I can get. There's Mike. The only thing is for Mike, obviously, if he's still watching, it's about just getting him on. So I'm just going to send him. The link as well. So just in case he doesn't see it on Twitch, I'm just going to keep it for this manner. So let me just do this. Being very, very professional here. I've been very, very, very professional because I am. Like, when it comes to stuff like this, I want to take it very seriously. Have you seen Scream 5 where David Arquette's character was killed off? Yeah, I didn't particularly like Scream 5. I don't think it's been. The last one I properly enjoyed was Scream 4. I think they went too far. You know what I mean? I think they went way too far with the franchise. But I don't want to ruin people's opinions of a film franchise because obviously everyone has their own opinions. I just think it wasn't particularly strong. I think it was the weakest of the lot. I disagree with a lot of their opinions, and I think the guy on How to Wrestling comes off as quite condescending. What about it that you think he comes across in that way? Like, I'm intrigued to get your thought on that. I think you're fair when it comes to your opinions. The guy, you've always been quite genuine on here, you know? I think I, for one, like your opinions. I'm hoping that when I speak, I hope I come across in the right way for you as well. I don't think I'm Like, to be fair, everyone's like that, I suppose. If you haven't seen this yet, if he genuinely comes up, I swear to God, this live chat is going to bounce. What's your favourite WWE game from 2K to the OG PS2 games? My favourite is still SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. But before that, definitely Shut Your Mouth was following Just Bring It. Great games. Shut Your Mouth was fun. Just Bring It started it for me. WWE Raw 2, Day of Reckoning, the first one. I don't think the second one was particularly good. The WWE series was not so bad. I think 2K16 was strong. 17 and 18 were okay. It hasn't been particularly great since then, but I think the most recent game was okay. I don't think it has the elements that it did back then though. I think it's hard to have a great wrestling game nowadays because people demand certain things. Are we getting that? I don't know. I don't think we are. That's just what I think. What are your favourite wrestling games from WWE specifically? What's your favourite WWE games? I am waiting for Mike. He did say 20 minutes, so where? Let me just have a look. 9:01. We should be here in about 5 minutes. Not gonna lie, I'm slightly nervous and excited at the same time. Because I have got no idea how this is gonna go. Mike might just come in and just completely take over, and if he does, cool. He can count. He can do the free count. The SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 was the first wrestling game I've played. It's a good game. It's a good game. I want to come back to this comment though about what is the prediction for the stipulation for the Seth and Punk rematch. King Matt says street fight. I think this street fight's becoming a bit overused in that way. I think 2 out of 3 falls. I think a 2 out of 3 falls match, or 3 stages of hell, as it was once called. I think that would be good too. I think that would be a good deciding stipulation. I don't think you should do Hell in a Cell. It doesn't have a Hell in a Cell type feel to it. I have one for him out the box, and that's what he thought about Punk. Rollins just basically telling the ref, we just need you for a count, and that's it. Yeah, that's another one. Just get out of the way. Just sit down, do your job, and just in that way, you chill back, and we'll just beat the hell out of each other. Do you think David Arquette could join the current WWE roster and right his wrong from his WCW run? No, because I think it's just past it now. I think he's too old to do it. I think the guy on there said that people do technical wrestling better than Benoit, and said that people who think otherwise is wrong, basically. I mean, I think the problem is everyone wants to get as much mention of Chris Benoit as they can. I think if you really want to have a fight about who the best is for technical, then you need to look at Bret Hart. For me, Bret Hart is the measuring stick for technical wrestling. Then it's Kurt Angle. Mr. Perfect. They're all there. Yeah, it is an opinion. Chris Benoit, you separate the art from the artist, because what he did is inhumane. I am from Scotland, yeah. I am, yeah. I think when you put him in the list of the greatest for just technical wrestling, he is absolutely in that conversation. No one can take that away. Unfortunately, we won't ever class him in such again because of what happened, and I think people just have to let it go. I think we just have to let it go. That's opinion, yeah, it's condescending that way. I guess I'm wrong because Name Redacted, much better, was the best technical wrestler ever. Problem is, he was never treated properly, hence Name Redacted. His 2000 run is one of his best runs, which is crazy. And I absolutely am from Scotland, yeah. You wouldn't think it because of my accent. It doesn't really give off a Scottish accent. Bless you, my friend, bless you. How you have a good shift and look after yourself. But thank you so much for showing. I really do appreciate it. 2 hours, 17 minutes we've been live. Still, he hasn't read it yet. Yeah. We're just about short of his 20-minute deadline. I'm hoping that we'll see him in the next minute or so. I really do. Because I really want to... I just want to have that conversation with him. That's mad. I never thought I would see the day where a professional wrestling referee, who I've got a lot of respect for, would just randomly appear in my stream and ask how I am, ask how the stream is doing, ask a very simple but effective and topic related question, and just respect. You know what I mean? Like, who does that? Like, who does that? They basically said that his in-ring style was to pop the boys, and I was like, well, Kurt Angle has the same style, so you're being a hypocrite. Where's he getting that from? Okay, right. Okay, time to really debunk this narrative. Where's he getting that from? From the rest of us going forward, I'm just going to refer to him as Name Redacted. So, yeah, Matthew, thank you for that. I'm sticking with it. Name Redacted, his ring style was not to pop the boys. His ring style was a very aggressive version of, if not just as aggressive as Bret Hart. Like, it was equal to that, except it just wasn't that level. I don't get that narrative at all. You know what I mean? I don't get it. Yeah, who doesn't? Kurt Angle's a legend. He's one of the greatest ever. Okay, so we have passed the 20 minutes, so I'm hoping we'll see Mr. Kyoda in just a little short bit. I think he's still watching us on Twitch. You know what's funny? He also did comment, ironically, about something last night that stands out. I'm actually looking at a tweet he put from last night, and it's actually fantastic. Somebody asked him, like, what do you think of the new referee shirts on Netflix? And he responded, the referee looks great, but the new referee jerseys are horrible. Get rid of the camera too. He gets it. Like, he gets it. I wonder if anyone's going to ask him about that WrestleMania match. Statlander, Tony Storm, Willow Nightingale tomorrow night for the #1 seed for the Women's Gauntlet. Oh. I think that's wrong. I think those are the wrong. I think one of those is wrong, sadly. I would have. I think because of her new refresh gimmick, where she's got, well, she's amnesia, she thinks she's a rookie. Tony Storm shouldn't be competing in this triple threat for the #1 seed. I think the #1 seed should have been. I think the #1 seed should include a heel. This should include Julia Hart. Winner of the Gauntlet versus Mariah May in Australia. Yeah, it's going to be Tony Storm, yeah. They made a video of him, which is on their Spotify, and look at a lot of what they said I thought was unfair. It's podcasting though. It's content creation. Like, that's it's actually something that happens. Like, people will do things for. They'll either do it for clicks, or they'll do it for little edgy posts, or they'll do it for moments because they think it's going to get their traction. It doesn't. It doesn't appear like that. So I don't know. Frankly, people. I do this for fun. People do this to have clickbait. You know, it doesn't make sense. That's my take on it. That's my take on it. It's not something I stand. It's not something I stand on. It's not something I stand for. But that is just how it is. That's where we're at now. Raw, however, does end last night with the main event. Seth Rollins, CM Punk. CM Punk's first singles match on Raw in over a decade. And this match had a lot of callbacks. You got the verbal callback to Seth Rollins starting his professional wrestling journey. When he goes to Seth Rollins' school, CM Punk's school, but he can't afford training, so he quits. The reunitement NXT, I think, is a nice touch. We get pedigrees on tables, we get pile driver attempts. We get that stomp counter at the very start as well, where CM Punk goes to get the stomp, but he ducks back out of the ring. Both men hit each other's finishers on each other. The aesthetic is there. Can I also say as well that the referee in this match, I don't know the referee's name, so I can't actually name them, unfortunately. The referee in this match has actually got perfect ring positioning. Like, when you actually look at this match for like spot to spot, the referee is exactly where they need to be every single time, which is a positive. I think the only thing that lets it down, don't know about you guys, is right now the biggest problem with wrestling is obviously this tribalism. And you make a callback to a CM Punk match where he beat one of Seth Rollins' closest friends the exact same way. The double GTS finish is the double or nothing finish. You really aggravate a fan base. I think it was very, very smart. Like, I think it was very smart though what they did to do that finish. I just question why. I don't see the reason to do it. The double GTS finish is one of the best though. But it did give a great closing shot. This closing shot, actually, first of all, let's have a look at the very, very beginning. That jacket is sick. But this is the winner. The Ring of Honor jacket is literally great to witness. I'm glad that he pulled that out because it fits in to them, their journeys. It's good that they've had that reenactment. But just look at this moment right now. Now, Mike Chioda, if you're still watching, sir, can you please confirm the name of this referee? Can you please confirm this referee's name, because he deserves absolute credit for his timing and positioning last night. Hopefully if you're still watching, can you please confirm the name of this referee? Because I thought he was excellent. I only know some of like the grey referees. I do not unfortunately know this referee's name, which is a bit unfortunate. Yeah, it was his classic Ring of Honor jacket. It had the triple X on the back, like the 3 X's that he does. He had that on the back, so that really stood out, stood firm. Really good to see. This match had one fatal flaw though. It wasn't long enough. This should have went longer. I think they really narrowed it down a bit. I know it's TV. I shouldn't be I probably shouldn't be moaning in that way, but this main event would have been fantastic for over 30 minutes. I would have given them 35 minutes. Standard. Like, I think it was just... I'm not sure if it's because of Punk. You know, like, obviously, like, time and ring conditioning and all that. I still think that they should have tested the waters a little bit and tried it. The rematch might be longer, but I would have given this, what, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, especially for a big main event as it was built. It was built as a blockbuster main event. I think 30-35 minutes is okay to ask for. But I didn't have an issue with the main event. I actually quite liked it. The only thing is, I think maybe the finish could have been a bit different. But it went out the way it was meant to be. It went out on a high. So, fair play. What did you guys think of that main event? What did you think of Raw? Where do you think it went right? Where do you think it went wrong? I'd love to get your answers in the chat, guys. What do you think? So what do you guys think? Decent main event, but I agree it wasn't long enough for me either. Overall, it was a decent enough show. Could have been better. Just don't bring Hogan back. Appropriately put acronym. I swear to God, I think they realised that they got it wrong with Hogan. You know, I think they... Obviously, you want to make money with partnerships and sponsorships, and Hogan's name in wrestling is up there for a reason. I think they may admit they got it wrong. They might not. Obviously, that's their decision. I don't think it was what they were looking for, but we'll see in the future. They are quite entertaining how to wrestle, but sometimes it seems like they are on the cancel culture train. Oh dear. Everything these days is to cancel someone. Wow. And the guy thinks Raw was fun. Perfectly fine. What else have we got, guys? Give me all your comments. What was your moment of the show? Like, what was your moment? I won't lie. Normally, I would pick Rock, but this was my moment. Honestly, Matthew, I don't blame you in that way. I think if they hadn't messed about with one of the matches, it would have been a stronger show than what people would have thought. Also, why did they have to put on the names of the producers now? Like, I don't know why they're doing that. Like, it seems weird. I really liked that moment. Yeah, it was lovely. It's just a shame that we didn't get Pentagon Jr. I think even if he had just appeared instead of getting his vignette, I think it would have been exciting. But they made the call to Hogan. We got Jimmy Hart, and that stands test of time. There was a lot of boos, a whole lot. I think he's at the point now where he just has to stop. Like, it's his moment, it's his time where he just needs to step away. Maybe he likes the spotlight more than he ever did. I don't know. I don't know him personally, so I don't know. I can't make that. That's just an educated guess. Your guess is as good as mine, buddy. I don't know. I don't know. Well, he did say 20 minutes or so. I did send him the link 30 minutes ago. I'm hoping Mike will appear. I wonder, instead of it being on Twitter, should I have sent it to his email? Flair deserves that reaction too. I think there's so many that deserve certain reactions in pro wrestling. Like, genuinely good people deserve the best stuff, but they don't get it. And obviously, like, the right people deserve the best reactions, and obviously certain wrong people will deserve the worst. But obviously you can't control fans, you can't control that way. You shouldn't be telling them who to, like, what to think. But it really is question of what was the intention. I don't think it was. You know, it's weird. I saw a few people saying it wasn't enough. I didn't like the way he did his promo as well. I did see what he did, yeah. I did see that. Trouble with Ric Flair, and this is the hardest thing, is he lives his gimmick as himself. Like, that is his life. I don't think he can live any other way. Is that harsh? You know, like, is that a harsh thing to say? Like, we've known him since 1977 as the Nature Boy Ric Flair. The vicarious lifestyle. I I don't think anyone knows him in any other way apart from his family. I think that's the hardest part. That's a good point, James. That's a good point. I was hoping he was coming. I don't know where he is. Mike actually started following me on Twitch as well 45 minutes ago, so I'm actually just going to quickly follow him back now. I think he might be new to the platform. I don't think he's ever used the platform before. I know he's on X and he does his own YouTube show, but I'm assuming that's what the difference is. I don't think anyone gives Flair the benefit of the doubt anymore, honestly. I don't think anyone does. I think when you look at him now, I think it's totally different. I think the way things are, it's so different. I don't think he's given the benefit of the doubt anymore. I think he used to, but not anymore. I think it's a whole different I think it's a whole different perspective. I think, yeah, Jimmy Hart was there as well. Yeah, got a picture now actually of him. 2 seconds. At least he's consistent to promoting his own product. I mean, Real American Beer is his product. I mean, you've got to at least commend that. I mean, it's something. But why would you have that over? Personally, I still don't understand why this guy was not there. Even like, why was this guy not mentioned once? You can't tell me that he doesn't deserve at least a mention. Even if he's not going to be there, why do you not mention Steve Austin? It doesn't make any sense. I do wish Mike was here because I really want to ask him about Hogan versus Rock at Skydome. Like, I actually want to physically ask him about that match. I think it's because of the name. I think it must be a different legacy to it. I don't know. I like he's done things that are so wrong, and he has, like, nobody can deny it. Like, he has done a lot of negatives that just don't fit. He's also done some good, but I don't get the hypocrisy between Flair and Hogan. Like, I've never really understood it. Like, to me anyway, it doesn't make sense. We have been live for 2 hours and 47 minutes. I think it'll get to the point soon where I will have to, like, wrap up. But if he isn't, unfortunately, in the next 5 minutes, I will need to wrap up, unfortunately. I was hoping that, because he said he would be here, he hasn't, unfortunately, appeared. I don't know what's going on. Like, I did message him nearly 40 minutes ago as well, but I guess it happens. He might just be having something. Must have come up, like people's lives. Obviously, you can't control their lives, but you can try and get him on for a future episode. Would you guys like that? Here's a better question. What's your opinions on Liv Morgan? Moving forward, we'll see what happens this week, on this Friday on SmackDown, especially the aftermath of Tiffany Stratton's the new champ. Yes, and TNA edging closer to Genesis. I will be doing stuff for that as well. 100%, I'll be stuff for that. I am going to try. If he doesn't unfortunately make it in the next 5 minutes, I will need to wrap the stream up. But I will reach out to him. Okay. So here's one. Who is Liv Morgan then? Which one's Liv Morgan? Because I bet you're not going to get the answer. The live chat tonight has been genuinely incredible. I think we've had well over 100 comments. See? So the question is, When did he message you asking you to ask me about Liv Morgan? I ain't stupid. We've had comments since the show started 2 hours 51 minutes ago, and we've got so many great comments, new subscribers, the lot. We've had a comment the whole night. So how would you know who Liv Morgan is then? Brother, I know you better than you know yourself. Also, with the Rumble coming up, will there be any surprise entries? If so, who would you like to see a surprise? Alright, Julio, I'll let you off. My opinions on Liv Morgan, I don't particularly rate her. I know online fans go wild for her. I don't particularly see the interest. I don't see it. Who would I like to make a surprise appearance? Psychosis. GBL. The Hurricane. But not as the Hurricane, like Gregory Helms. Nick Nemeth. I'm expecting Joe Hendry. There's quite a few. Pretty much. I think one of them just has a better way of conducting themselves and they actually understand who they are better. And that's what Rhea Ripley is. And she's a much better worker in my opinion. Like she's faultless. Which in a human being, very hard. Especially when I'm reviewing you. So I can be very, very harshly critical. That's just how it is. Sadly, I mean, he did message, unfortunately, he's not. Sadly, he's not here with us. He may, like, I don't know what's happened. Send the links. I did try. Sadly, Mike killed us. He's not here. I'm hoping that he is all right. I do, however, thank him for appearing, by the way, in the chat. Imagine if Joe Hendry appears, the stadium atmosphere would go mental. Echoes of, yeah, would. Echoes of, I believe. It would go insane. Like, numbers wise. What they do with him, though, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't think he's going to really do much. Might get one elimination, maybe two, and then gets popped out. I think you might see, I don't know, maybe Obafemi or Ethan Page. They might be in the Rumble as well. I'm not sure. We'll certainly find out. Anyway, sadly he's not been able to make it. That's okay. I will try and get him on for a future episode. I will try really hard now. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe to this channel. Please do share this stream. It's been Very good. I think this is a good way to start this season's 102 days to WrestleMania, so let's make it fun the remainder of the way. We'll do it together. Last point before you finish, I had a debate on the Rumble with my brother and I just settled it saying, it's not a give to our truth. Fun. I like that. Fletch, Catherine, James, the guy, Matthew Sheldon, Mike Chioda, Julio, Billy, King Matthew. Honestly, and Christopher Leclerc, thank you all for being in this stream. I really appreciate it. You guys have been great. We are going to be back. I don't really watch NXT, so I won't be here for NXT. So tomorrow will be a day off. I'll be back Thursday to review Dynamite. I'll review Dynamite on Thursday. I'll review TNA Friday. Saturday I'm going to review SmackDown. And I'll do some gaming streams as well. Sunday I'm going to review Collision. And we're just going to pop up and we're going to bring Ailey back. I'm going to try and get in contact with Mike, ask him if he can appear in a future episode. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in with me tonight. It's been a blast. Stay safe, look after yourselves, and Steelchair signing off with a bang. That is how it's supposed to be. Goodbye.